play against Michigan in 20? No.
I was on the team.
You're on the team.
I was on the team, but I didn't play.
So
I was still a freshman.
This would be your fourth year or fourth matchup, right? So
fourth time
playing. I guess what has the rivalry been like for you, and kind of where you entered it, being coming from Pennsylvania, not really knowing much to now being a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, it's a big game for sure. I mean, we circle it on our schedule every year. We're excited. We've been preparing all week, and we got to finish the week out strong, just to be ready for the game. And I think it's just that time of the year that we know that we got to go out there and play our best, because they're gonna put up a good game too.
Can you speak to the swing of emotions you've had in this game? I mean, 2021 is maybe as good as it gets. Last year about the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
2022, there's off-field stuff. I mean, it's been eventful, to say the least.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely been eventful for sure. It's just a big game, and it's a big deal for both programs, and I think it just shows like we go out and we do everything we can to win the game, and it's an emotional game. It's a rivalry game, in-state game. So
staying with the idea of emotions, how difficult is it not to drown in your emotions? Big game. I know your coaches talk about how to stay focused, but that's kind of like all we're talking about right now. Is how do you kind of stay afloat?
The coach talked about we don't need to be heroes. We just need to go and do our job and stay disciplined. And that's kind of what the big focus of this week's been. We don't need to be heroes. You don't need to do anything special. Just do your job and stay poised, because we know what the kind of game we're going into. It's going to be a pretty crazy environment as well, and we just got to stay the path and be disciplined through the entire game.
How settling is that to say, hey, you don't got to be a hero?
It takes weight off your shoulder. It doesn't, because you don't want to get anxious and do stuff you don't normally do. You want to go out and do what you got to do and do your 1/11th. And I think it's just kind of calming for the entire team to know like we're going into a big game, and just to trust your preparation. So that's what we talked about all week. Prepare. Best week of preparation. Just keep getting better.
What's it like preparing when they don't know a quarterback? They haven't announced a quarterback. I think Moore said he thinks it might be Tuttle, but just preparing for maybe multiple quarterbacks. And what do you remember about facing Jack Tuttle the last time?
Yeah, that's funny. It makes it tough for sure. They got 3 guys that have all started, and it just makes the preparation a little bit tougher, because that means you got to prepare for the different guys, and that's just how the game plan goes. So. I mean, we don't know who exactly we're going to get, but we just have to have a plan for all 3. So that's kind of
last year's game when you guys went in. Coach Antonio was around at that point. How much did he talk to you guys? And maybe some of the talking points he did.
He came in. We had a team meeting early in the week, and he just talked about the rivalry and what kind of game it is, and how it's a big part of our season, and how the culture and everything. We got to buy into the game, because this is the game of the year that we remember and stuff. So this is the one that's a big deal.
Is it talked about that? And I think historically, looking back over the last 30 or so years that I've seen it, they're going to try and get under your skin. Do you guys talk about that? The response to that?
Yeah, no, we've talked about that. We've talked about in big games you can't give up penalties. You got to be disciplined. It doesn't matter what's being said, who's doing what. You got to just play between the whistles and can't do anything extra. You got to be smart on the field, because you got to be disciplined. And the more disciplined team, usually you benefit from that.
Can you speak to we talked about the 2 different streams of emotions. What you remember feeling in 2021 when you won that game?
Yeah.
And then what you remember feeling last year, and I know you had other low moments last year, there was a series of them, but what you remember sort of that gut punch of last year?
I mean 2021 was probably one of the best games of my career being here. That was an all-time game. I mean, it was unreal environment, everything that happened that game. And then, last year was really unfortunate. Really, it's hard. It's really just the both ends of the spectrum, like you said. It's either ultimate high or ultimate low, and either depending on the outcome of the game.
Is there something, because of what happened last year, and another chance, especially for your group, and just to sort of leave it in a different place and prove you guys are a different program?
Yeah, for sure. I think we can go out, and as long as we do our jobs and we take care of business, we can show that we're a different team from last year. I think that's kind of going to be a big thing. I mean, Coach Smith and everything, all the changes that happened this year, and the buy-in to the program, I think everybody's really just excited about it, and it's just building as the year's going on. And I think that you can just feel the energy around the building too.
How do you feel any different this year with 61 new guys in the program?
coaching staff, or I know a couple of them have been part of it, but it's so different with so much new?
Not really. I mean, I've been around it, so I mean, I know how it is. And but the new guys definitely starting to feel it. And I mean, everyone has a rivalry, so you kind of know how it goes. So I mean, it's an in-state rivalry, and we're excited, and we've been preparing all week, and we're
How
excited.
do you foster that in guys from scratch when they haven't really like I was telling Tanner, I saw him and Jack Velling kind of. You knew the Oregon game was a big game for them because that was
Right.
But like, how do you kind of build them up into this crescendo?
I mean, you could see there's all the history on the rivalry and stuff. So we talk about that stuff, and you just know the culture, and like you know that's the game, in-state rivalry. Like this one means means more. That's kind of what I would say. And then they just everyone's building off that and just get ready for this week.
With go back to Tuttle, I mean, does it help? I mean, assuming he plays on Saturday, if he does, that you've seen him, and maybe other guys like Angelo, or I don't remember, Chuck was maybe he was a freshman then, but just having that experience, seeing a guy that's 26 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, it's on the film, so we'll see what he's done. I'm sure he's gotten better, and it'll be interesting. We just gotta make sure we do our jobs. I mean, that's kind of how it is. I mean,
What about Loveland and their tight ends? Because they've obviously been
he's a
the
really
most
good player.
significant weapons.
Yeah, he's a really good player. We got to make sure we do what we got to do to stop him and slow him down, because he's been a really good tight end. He's probably going to be drafted really early. He's good. He's a really good player.
I think their other tight end is their second, third leader.
Yeah. So the tight ends they're a very big part of their offense and their run game as well. That's what they're doing really well right now.
Even if it's not Tuttle, I mean, and we talked to Coach Ross a little bit about this, but like, what's the complexity of maybe prepping for 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks? I mean, how much? I mean, it's different when there's only 2, but this is a little bit
just certain adjustments depending on who's in and stuff like that. It's really going to come down to our game plan, because you can only do so much when they're preparing for, like you said, 3 or 4 guys. But we're going to prepare for all of them, and that's what we're doing. So whoever we see, we're out there and we're ready to go.
Cal, can you speak to the different ways they try to get love on the ball? Can you speak to the different ways they try to get love on the ball? They do a lot of different things to get the tight end.
Oh yeah. He's a really good player, and I mean, play actions and stuff like that. Him leaking out and blocks, like blocking and then releasing, stuff like that. We just got to keep your eyes on him, because play could go this way, he could come back the other way, things like that. They're trying to get him the ball. He's a good player, and he's a good player with the ball in his hands. So we just got to make sure we keep our eyes on him.
How much is? I mean, obviously this is Coach Martin's first time back in this, but he's got the history. I think he's the guy on your defensive side, like Courtney on the other side. Who has the history with it. Like, has he been?
He's always excited, and he's always ready to go. So I mean, I'm sure this one means a lot more to him too, because he's played in it and he's been around it, so he knows the history. And I'm sure the DBs and all the corners they're going to be real fired up for this game too.
Has there been anyone else that has really been stressing the importance of this rivalry throughout the week? Coaches, players?
No, it's kind of just just known the energy of the game. So we kind of just putting our head down, making sure we get the job done, going out to practice, having good practice, and making sure we're getting our jobs done.
And this is what, 5 now. You got a chance to go out on a positive. And make it 3 and 2. I guess for you, what's the lasting impact you want to leave in the rivalry?
I mean, a winning record would be ideal, but that's how we want to go out and just know that this game means more to our guys, and then the guys coming through that haven't been here and that are going to be here next year, that just know that this game means more.
Did you have a pick 6 against Tuttle, or a fumble return?
I think so, but he was on a different team, so it's all different. So, but it's a new team, new guy. So.
How does this Michigan run game differ from what you guys faced against Iowa last week?
They have a very good scheme. They have a lot of different stuff that they can do and a lot of different looks, and they're running the ball well. They got 2 guys that can run the ball really well, and I think that's gonna be the challenge that we face this week, is making sure we can fit up all the different runs and all the schemes that they do.
Everybody was talking last week about how close you guys were. It's one thing to say it and then another thing to go out and do it. How much better does this team feel about itself now than maybe even just a week ago?
I think we feel better. I mean, we're just building confidence. I mean, especially we went out and we played a pretty solid game against Iowa last week, I would say, and we're just trying to build off that now and just try to keep progressing because after those we had 2 tough weeks. We had the same process, and Coach Smith talks about process driven, so it doesn't matter the result. We're still gonna do our process and get better and better every week.
How was it last week in terms of the first half when you guys were going out and getting the 3-and-out stops, but then you're also on the sideline for quite a while?
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, that hasn't, I mean, you've seen that over the last few years where, you know, sometimes you guys will have a good series and then you're right back out there. Like, I mean, the ability to, for the offense to sustain some things has to help.
It's really nice. It gives us time to definitely talk about stuff and make sure we're getting all our adjustments on the sideline, especially with the iPads now because we can watch the entire series and stuff. Just gives us time to do all that. I would say it just gives us time to get your breath, you know, stay fresh the entire game. But yeah, it's been really nice playing complimentary football, I would say.